Welcome to another edition of the SSC TV3 News. We are more than news. We also televise programs, events, and archives that are the lifeblood of our community. This is Thursday, February 22nd. I am Jeffrey Lyon, your host, and these are the topics that will be on our show today. So, first off will be a look at the high school calendar. Then, of course, we'll have public service announcements. And then at the end of our show today, we will be filming and showing off City Council and some of those highlights. We televise this program live at 11 a.m. on Tuesday and Friday. Of course, due to schedule issues, we are doing it today on Thursday. It is also recorded and uploaded to YouTube right after the show. If you cannot watch us live, you can still watch the show at your convenience at sandylandcenter.org. If you have news, public service announcements, or programs that need to be covered, come by the studio at 110 East 3rd or send us an email at ssctv3@gmail.com. We can accommodate those wishing to appear live on the show, those wishing to make pre-recorded studio video, or those wishing video coverage in the field. At this time, we have a short video featuring some of the sponsors that make this program possible. Alright, so first off, if you are having any kind of viewing issues, I don't know if you are or not, but if you do, blame the weather, not us. Is that true? I don't know, but what is true is that next we have a short video featuring some more of the sponsors that make this program possible. Please check out our bulletin board for further information. Also, let them know that you watch the show and that you appreciate their support and their sponsorship. If you would like to be a regular sponsor of the SSC TV3 News, which you probably want to be, contact us at ssctv3@gmail.com. As we grow, we will be covering many community events and showing local programming. Our goal is to be able to simulcast live on both Cable Channel 3 and live stream on YouTube. In addition to this, the live show will be recorded in real time in high-quality MP4 video so that the members of our viewing audience will be able to access the program whenever and wherever they choose. Your support can make this happen. Alright, time for a look at the high school calendar. Today at 4, there will be a high school basketball game against Cimarron, and that's going to be right here. It will also be senior night, which will be after the girls' basketball game. Tomorrow, the robotics team will be competing at Wichita State. So, yeah. The 22nd through the 24th will be KMEA. On Sunday, the 25th, there will be the NHS induction ceremony at 2. On Monday, the 26th, will be a junior high scholars bowl right here in St. John. The 26th and 27th is the high school sub-state basketball to be determined, and that will pick up after Wednesday, so that's nice. And there will be no school Wednesday, by the way, due to the 28th being the St. John Music Invitational all day, which we may or may not cover. We're going to maybe try to do that, I don't know. All right, so public service announcements. First off, I'd like to thank the St. John Hudson Rec Commission for sending in this update. So their trip to the barn at Burton, Kansas has been postponed, not canceled, but postponed to Thursday, March 1st of 2018. And they will be leaving the St. John Hudson Rec Commission office at 11:15 a.m. They'll eat lunch at 12:30 p.m., so that's pretty nice. And then there will be a short shopping stop at Smith's Market on the way back to St. John. Cool. The library will be closed Monday, February 26th. The City Council meeting will be on Monday, March 5th. And on that day, March 5th, Circles program graduation will be then. So Circles program graduation will be Monday, March 5th at 6:30 p.m. at the United Methodist Church here in St. John. So I want to apologize. Due to conflicting timelines and events, we were not able to get an interview with the cheerleaders for today. However, we will get you the story as soon as we can. So thank you for your patience and cooperation. On March 6th, there will be a PE program in the high school gym. Now, this will be a very special program because it will be the farewell program presented by Cindy Friesen, who will be retiring at the end of the year. This program will be recorded, televised, and uploaded to YouTube. An MP4 high-quality video will also be available for flash drive free of charge to those wishing a copy. Just contact David Cutright at cutright@hotmail.com for details. If you have items that need to be announced on TV3 and or placed on the computerized bulletin board, send them to ssctv3@gmail.com. Again, that is ssctv3@gmail.com. Join us again on Cable Channel 3 next Tuesday at 11 a.m. and on the internet at sandylandcenter.org. We leave you today with highlights from Tuesday night's City Council meeting. The video is 25 minutes long. If you would like to see the entire meeting or certain segments in more detail, you can go to sandylandcenter.org. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching.
We're ready to rock and roll. Call the regular City Council meeting to order at City Hall, February 20th, 2018, 7 p.m. Call the meeting to order. Additions to the agenda. Add land bank to the agenda before new business, and then a public hearing for 405 West 2nd, 413 West 2nd, and 415 West 2nd after the swimming pool on the agenda. And on to swimming pool, Stephanie Smith.
Okay. We've got some serious problems at our pool that need to get addressed before we open up this year. We lost a lot of water last year. Jeff can contest to that we were filling it constantly. I don't know. I know there's been talk about having some people come down and look at doing a new spray on it. I don't know where that's at. I just have a list of things that I would like to see done prior to us opening. I didn't know how that was best, whether it was to present it to you guys or go directly to Jeff and visit with him on how we can coordinate that to get some of that stuff done. But there's some safety issues down there that I'm seeing that we need to get fixed, before somebody gets hurt. So I guess I need the council to tell me how they want me to proceed. If you want me to send you guys a list of what the projects are that I see, or just get with Jeff and you're good with that. So
Jeff, you got time? Yeah, in fact, we've got quite a few planned for the spring. We're gonna take most of that concrete out on the north side. Got a bad leak somewhere. And the only way I'm gonna find it is take the concrete out. We got some broken valves that need to be replaced. We got some circulation issues, but we are losing quite a little bit of water. We think we can find it. We think it's on a return. We had a deal broke last year under the diving board that we repaired. Still not really satisfied with the way the pool circulates, and part of it's due to valves that are half open and some that are not. So that part of it, and repairing the water on the slide and some of that other stuff we intend on doing. So.
Moving on to department head and committee reports. Grant Administrator Lisa Cornwell.
Jim Stanek called about that peak study for 5th and Monroe, and he finally got the work order, which we were supposed to have a couple months ago. And so KDOT's supposed to be coming out, but they need 2 to 3 days of good weather to get that complete, and so they hope to be out in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and they'll get us a report. Our $20,000 we got from Golden Belt for the splash pad. Jeff went to Ellenwood and looked at theirs, and theirs cost approximately $100,000. And so I don't know whether you want me to look for more grants for that or scrap it. We may be able to, do the flooring with a bunch of sprays with maybe 1 or 2, elephants or toadstools, or it wouldn't be anything very extravagant. So
That's what Ellenwood is pretty nice.
I wouldn't say it's overly elaborate, but what I will say on Lisa's deal is that it was all done by a third party. So I think you could look at that as half material and half labor, or somewhere close. What Chris told me was they didn't have anything to do with it at all. So, and we intend on at least doing the concrete and the piping and stuff, so I think we could get some stuff in there.
Jeff, why don't you do the research on it and see what you can come up with and bring it to council, and I would suggest, Lisa, just see what you can find with the grant money and bring it to council, and that way we could have all the information and then make a decision at that time. So, unless council disagrees.
I'm fine with that.
And Safe Routes to School, we had one engineer apply, which was EBH, and they've done safe routes before. And we have to have an advisory board meeting to hire that engineer. The advisory board meeting will be this Thursday, and it consists of a representative from the city, the school, Eco Devo, health department, Jamie and I. And then there's a list of things that we're doing with Safe Routes to School, and I don't know whether you'd like that list. It's mostly education, things at the school for the first phase of it. But if you'd like a list, I'm happy to get that to you.
Sure.
And then paving 5th Street, KDOT, the grant app for that should be coming out soon, and they're supposed to send that to me, so I'll let you know whenever it comes out. Everything seems to just go slow, so,
Right, yeah.
yeah, so that's all I have.
But there is a grant out there, is what you're saying?
There is, that would pay 80% if we got it,
Oh,
but
nice.
it's gotta come out.
Right.
Okay, moving on to police chief, Adam Center.
That portion for school shooting scenario was put on there by Mark, so I'll let him.
Yeah, just wanted to touch base with Chief Saylor regarding a school shooting scenario. I think that's something because of recent events, I think it's something that we need to do. The last time we had anything was 4 years ago, and if I remember correctly, the students were not even involved in this, and that needs to change. These type of scenarios need to be played out just as much as we do with a tornado or a fire drill. I think the argument of this is Little St. John, nothing will ever happen here, I disagree with that. I really do. You tell little towns that have experienced something that happened in Parkland, Florida, you try telling them that they're too small for that. I worry about the students, I worry about the faculty. I just think that we need to do something. Whatever help that you need from council, I think that I can speak for everyone here, that you'll get it. And we need to speak with the Board of Education, and we need to start moving forward on this. We need to start preparing our students for this.
I had a meeting with the superintendent today at his request, and I mean, really in a short amount of time we got a lot accomplished. as far as ideas and things like that.
Okay, moving on to Fire Chief Sanders.
I need to remove Dennis Page and Brandon Clark from the fire department. Well, no. Dennis retired some months ago and he just decided to call it quits. I mean, he was still on helping us out, but
Right.
he was done and Brandon Clark moved away, so.
We had our planning commission meeting this evening before we met tonight. They came up with two names. There are two different terms, and let me just pull it up here. They would like to nominate Craig Weigel for the term expiring September of 2019, and Scott Clausen for the term expiring September of 18.
Okay. Have these people been
Surprise.
contacted?
I believe so, yes. That was up to them.
Okay.
So that's,
Would anybody see a problem with me appointing those two members for those
None
terms?
whatsoever.
Nope.
Let me see that. Because you need a motion on that.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'd entertain a motion for the planning commission to appoint Craig Weigel to the term expiring September 2019, and also Scott Clausen to the planning commission for the term expiring September 2018.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed, carries 5-0. Motion for us to recess into executive session to discuss individual employees' performance pursuant to non-elected personnel matters. The meeting will resume at what time do you want?
How long you want?
7:58.
7:58
Motion and a second on the table. Okay, call the council meeting back to order here. Still on City Clerk Jamie. So we looking for a motion.
I'd make a motion to give Pam Watson a $1 increase in pay. Subject? No. No.
Second.
Okay, so a motion and a second on the table to increase Pam's pay $1. Any more discussion? Of course we can. All in favor? All opposed? Approves? 4-0. Lisa, you abstaining?
Just continue to talk great things about Jubilee, and I don't know if everyone saw, we are actually taking over the Easter egg hunt too.
Good.
So
Good.
we have that on Facebook, and I will be working on getting flyers around for that. And we're still kind of figuring out details and what it's all going to entail, but we're going to try like a lunch thing since we know there's other Easter egg hunts that day as well. And all these events do help Jubilee year after year, so that's what we've been.
Needing an Easter bunny and a hot dog turner
We-
and some egg fillers.
We actually have an Easter bunny. I haven't figured out the hot dog stuff, but we'll get it figured out. So,
Very good. I'm glad to see the event coming back downtown. That's very cool.
and we noticed that the deed for the Dillon's building was actually in the city's name and not the land bank's name. And we kind of discussed that it needs to be changed over to the land bank so we can move forward with the appeal in the correct way.
Well, that would be the easiest way of doing it, because then we don't even have to appeal. We could still appeal it. There's no reason why. It just has to be used for a public purpose, and I don't think the Board of Tax Appeals understood what that public purpose was. And even if it's sitting vacant, it's still being held to be used at a later time for public purpose. And really, the public purpose in the beer garden thing that you do for the Jubilee is about the only thing that goes on over there. But that's also public purpose, so.
I guess my question, because I went up and talked to Carl about this. And in all actuality, even if we do pay the taxes on it now, If we, as bad as it sounds, throw a shovel in there and take a picture of it and keep it on file, and I don't know what the council's decision is on the building, whether we're gonna keep it, whether we're gonna renovate it, turn it into something, or if we're gonna try to rent it out. But if we rent it out or lease it to somebody, we have to pay taxes on it.
Right. Because it's on public purpose.
But at any time we decide that, you know, if we aren't gonna rent it out or aren't gonna lease it out, and we are gonna solely use it for city only, we can actually get refunded clear back to the purchase date.
And moving on, City Superintendent Jeff Williamson.
A couple things. I received an email from the electrical engineer today on the grocery store, and the transformer that we have in stock is not near big enough for what they're gonna require out there, so next meeting I will bring you a cost. Next thing, that number 2 well, what we call the number 2 well, the south well, the bulk loadout well, which we no longer pump out of, but we still sell bulk water. We've got a major leak under the corner of the floor. Cast iron pipe's about rotted to the point that we're gonna have to do some major repair down there. Probably what we would like to do is set up a key type system with loadout out the side where the trucks can come up and they will place a key in there, just like the old Keytrol gas pumps, anything like that. And anybody that takes water out of there will tally it. And you'll have to come get a key or rent a key or beg a key from the office in order to get any water. Next thing is, we discussed this a year ago and ran an ad for alignment, and I'd really like to run it again if council doesn't have any objections. One more thing. We've been tossing around the idea the last month or so about buying a 4-post lift for our shop. We service all of our vehicles, plus I've been visiting with Adam. Between Adam and I, this last year, out of our departments, we probably spent over $4,000 using outside people to do a lot of things we can do. You know, Adam a lot of times takes these vehicles out and has them serviced, and it's $115, $120 every time he does it. We're willing to split up our departments and everybody pay a piece of it and put it in a shop where we can maintain his vehicles as well as ours. They get serviced like they should.
I would move to allow Jeff to purchase a 4-post lift at $75.68. Excuse me? Come out of the 5 departments. Jeff would list per.
Water, sewer, streets, parks, and the police department.
Was that plus tax?
Hmm?
Plus tax or no tax?
Be tax after that. I guess that's how we buy our stuff, our parts, I assume we do.
Is that all you need, Jane?
Motion on the table.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 3-1, 1 abstaining.
Well, the only thing I have other than stuff that we've already talked about is just to kind of give an update on the municipal court situation. Judge Walters has been running things really without my attendance for
She's saving us money.
3 months. Yeah, we've got kind of a system down that I check with her to see whether she thinks I need to be here, and then if somebody needs me, she just tells them to call me. So there's a little bit of work we're doing in the office, but she's and it's helped that we really haven't had anything too concerning, though. That might change here pretty quickly.
A new business, dog breeds within the city.
I brought that up too.
Okay.
I had a citizen that came up to me and expressed her concern, saying we had 4 different breeds I looked into that we can't have in the city. So they also pointed out there was a Facebook post that said that had a concern about that they didn't think it was fair, and underneath that it had quite a few comments from the city, and I personally think that it's not fair to not allow certain breeds in town. I mean, it's one of those deals where let all breeds in town or not any. I mean, that's the way I think of it. It's just all how you raise your dog. I mean, I know a really mean little Chihuahua that's pretty mean, and my lad's about this big, and he's a bear. So I just don't think it's fair to have it that way. I mean,
Well, after 50 years as a veterinarian, a black cocker spaniel will bite you every time, and a Chihuahua will bite at you. But if a Chow or Pit Bull or a Rottweiler determines to bite you, you're going to be hurt, and so will anyone else. Now, yes, it's how they're raised and how they're used, but there is an element that will have a Doberman, a Pit Bull, a Chow, or a Rottweiler.
I mean, I know we've run into it, and we've had a lot of people ask us in the past to change it, and we haven't for them reasons, and
That's requirements.
I'd just say leave it alone how it is and not risk the issue.
I agree. I think that while it is, I agree that it's the way you raise your animal. Yeah, the people itself are the biggest issue, and that's the problem right there. They're the ones who are raising the animal. They're the ones who are training it or not training it. So I agree with Marshall. I think we should leave it as is.
well, there's that.
That one got hurt.
And new business ordinance 1018 cereal malt beverage special events. Must be Jamie.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. I talked to John a little bit about this ordinance, and we're still gonna look into it a little bit more, I think, because we did determine that the ordinance pretty much says that you guys can, what is the right word?
Permit, I don't know what you're.
Yeah, like you can tell us that we can use the parking lot or the street or whatever.
It's definitely not based on current state law, I guess, that's the conclusion we came to. Current state law on the type of thing like you guys do for the beer garden is you're not supposed to drink on city-owned property, state-owned property, government-owned property. And so what happens is that the city passes an ordinance designating part of their property as available for those kinds of things, those festivities.
Old tennis court.
That might be up to me.
No.
Lisa was gonna do it, but she wanted to know if we wanted to try and replace that, tear that out and replace it with something different, or what the city kinda had in mind to do with it, if we wanted to do something for kids' recreation over there. It doesn't get a lot of use now, the fence is in pretty rough shape. You know, whether it be a grant deal, there are some grants available to do some of those things, but, you know, how far the city wants to go is another.
Wasn't it the consensus at some point, I know before my time, that we were giving the schools some money to kind of alleviate the problem of that court being wrecked and having.
We still have lighting and stuff there as far as that goes, you know, to do something, whether it was a croquet court or a putt-putt golf or, you know, whatever. I mean,
Right.
the lights are still there regardless, but the fence is in getting pretty tough shape, and the court underneath that rug is not good at all, so.
So looking into grants to do something else.
She was, yeah, she left early, but we talked about it earlier and talked about some things, you know, that might work, but like everything else, she's trying to find money somewhere to bring something to you to do that, so that's kind of where we're at.
I think it'd be great
It's
if
pretty
she
rough
looked
shape,
into
isn't
it.
it?
See if we can do it.
Fix it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, something
do
needs
what?
done. Said something, I think we all agree that something needs done with it.
Yeah,
So whatever
you know, at
she can come
some
up
time,
with.
we're gonna have to redo that basketball court across the street there, but it still gets a lot of use.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as far as that goes. So,
Hopefully we can think of something else across
bathrooms
the
are there
road.
and that stuff, you know, and we still, and a lot of people don't know this, but north of that tennis court, there is a place to dump the sewage on an RV. We made a deal years ago. We're gonna re-pour the concrete pad, make it wide enough and put a hydrant out there where people can see. But we own that lot going clear through there, in behind that house and south of Galen Davis's fence that, you know, might be something in the future that the city might wanna look at putting some meter posts in there for weekend stuff where you could rent a spot, you know, for so much a day and park some campers in there, stuff like that. Something we don't have that might entice somebody too. So, you know, the utilities are all right there, so. Something we might want to look at that we wouldn't have a lot of money invested in.
Did anything ever come about that fountain yet?
You know, Trent, I've cornered him 2 or 3 times and I just can't get him to spit out very much. I know he's busy.
Well, I mean,
And we were gonna try and redo this fountain last fall. Of course, fall's gone, spring's gonna be here, we're gonna be putting water in another 30 days or 45 days, but I'll stay on him and try and get something done, cause Mary Ann wanted something done on that one in the park, so. I'll do what I can on that, but on the tennis court deal, I think she's trying to look at some angles. I said, maybe a dog park, you know, you turn your dog loose and everybody else, put your chihuahua in with a Rottweiler and see if he's lunch. I shouldn't say that's not right. But still something, you know, we need to do something to clean it up.
that's messed up.
Wow. Yeah, so, anyway, that might be putt golf or something, you know, who knows?
Definitely have a look into something.
Something.
Okay, moving on to resigned cleaning contract.
Can we resend the thing?
And then on to Circle's graduation, Monday, March 5th at 6:30 p.m. I'm gonna jump in real quick on that. I know I had gotten a call. I'm sure you did too.
Yes.
I'm planning on jumping over there real quick before our meeting. Just to, they thought that, you know, this is a big deal for our community. So I'm gonna jump in on that, but certainly go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, and I was just basically, we were asked if any members of council would like to come to the Circle's graduation, to please come, to show some support for the people who have gone through this program, trying to better their lives. Again, as Mayor Tucker said, it's on Monday, March 5th at 6:30 p.m., and I do believe it's at the United Methodist Church. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. I plan on being there, so there we go.
Very good. And then that takes care of our new business. And the last item on the list here, executive session.
I want a 15-minute executive session to discuss non-elected personnel, to discuss police department personnel, to include the mayor, council, attorney, and Adam.
So moved.
Motion and a second on the table. All in favor? All opposed?
Second.
Motion and a second on the table to go back to executive session for another 10 minutes
Without me again?
to include the same people.
Same people.
All in favor? All opposed? No other business on the agenda. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?